Hello, it's Charles with Uber Eats. Today is Monday, the 9th of March, 2026, and I am blessed and grateful that I received the precious gift of tomorrow with God's wake-up call, and I got to see another day here in beautiful, sunny, warm Tampa, Florida. And you also woke up this morning and received that precious gift of tomorrow with God's wake-up call, and you got to see another day here on earth. Not everybody on this earth got God's wake-up call this morning and got to see another day. So I, for one, am most definitely blessed and grateful that the good Lord gave me that wake-up call this morning. Very fortunate and grateful for that. But I went to sleep last night being grateful for everything I've got. I've got a nice place to sleep in the camper here in Tampa, Florida every night. I get to enjoy all the food anytime I want here in Tampa, Florida. I'm building a wonderful Uber Eats business, and I'm enjoying wonderful weather here in Tampa, Florida, so where God has put me in this time and place. So I am blessed and grateful for everything the good Lord has given me. And on top of that, I'm relatively healthy for a 50-year-old guy. So God is great, God is good, God is great, always and always. Amen. The time right now is 5:21 a.m. this Monday morning, the 9th of March, and according to weather-atlas.com, the sun will rise today at 7:45 a.m. So that's 2 hours, 24 minutes from now. And the sun will set this evening here in Tampa, Florida at 7:35 p.m. So today, Tampa will enjoy over 11 hours and 50 minutes of daylight. I mentioned I had another great day on the app. I certainly did. I made great money on the Uber Eats, doing my Uber Eats deliveries in Tampa yesterday. And I even had a customer increase my tip. It was Caroline. I delivered an order from Smoothie Cafe for her. And she had two drinks, one of which was their wild berry. No, cherry berry. They have they don't have it any longer, but they had a limited time promotion at Tropical Smoothie Cafe of a drink called cherry berry. Well, that promotion ended a day or two earlier, and it was still available on the Uber Eats app on their menu for that restaurant, the Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Well, the customer ordered that drink, and they hadn't ordered any cherries. They thought they didn't need to have any more cherries because it was off their menu in the store. Well, they were waiting on me to show up at the restaurant to inform the customer that they couldn't fill that order, and wanted to know what other drink they wanted to be substituted for that cherry berry drink. Well, I get there, and the customer isn't responding to my text message. So I had to call her, and she picked up the phone and hung up initially. And I assumed she'd be looking at her phone after that call had went through. Well, they never looked at their phone. So I waited a couple more minutes to give them time to realize that it might have been their Uber Eats driver calling them to get in touch with them, and they never looked at their text messages. So I called them again, and then that time they answered. A guy answered the phone. And I explained to him that they weren't able to fulfill their cherry berry order at the Tropical Smoothie Cafe because that drink has been discontinued, or it was a limited time drink. And I asked him what he wanted to substitute. He said, I really don't want to substitute anything. I would rather just them make the drink without the cherries in it. It still has raspberry and some other, I think raspberry and blueberry in it. It comes with cherry, raspberry, and blueberry. He said just make it with blueberries and raspberries and that'll be fine. So I went ahead and let the manager know that. She fulfilled that drink order, that smoothie order. And I can only assume the fact that I text the customer and inform them, and was using good communication skills with my customer to make sure they got the drink they wanted, because they weren't getting their cherry berry drink. I assumed they would want something substituted. I assume that's why they bumped my tip up. That's the only thing that was unusual about that order. And I was supposed to get $10.77 with that double. It was a tropical smoothie and IHOP double for Lonnie and Caroline. Well, I am assuming it was Caroline that bumped my tip up $4 more. So I actually got a tip of $14.77, and I made $14.77 for delivering that double. So thank you, Caroline. I appreciate the extra tip you gave me with that order. Well, anyways, I'm sitting up at the Circle K at my normal pump, and I've been inside already, and I got my free cup of ice in my Starbucks cup. You see that? Free ice. And this morning, I went with the tea and lemonade flavor of the Monster Rehab Revive, Refresh, Recover. See that tea and lemonade? And this one has the date of L2515, and L is the 12th letter of the alphabet. So this can was made December the 15th of last year. So you've got 16 days left in December, and then January and February. So this can is 16 days, 2 months, and 9 days old. So 24 days. This can is 24 days and 2 months old. I bought too many of this can. I bought 2 extra cans of this can that I shouldn't have. So instead of having peach tomorrow and wild berry on Wednesday, I'll be drinking 2 more cans of this tea and lemonade Tuesday and Wednesday. But after that, I'll be back on my normal schedule of cans, what cans I'm supposed to be drinking. I don't want to just throw those out or keep them until April. I could technically keep them until April and drink them in April and buy the right cans, but I'm just going to get back on track for this month and drink 2 extra cans tomorrow and Wednesday. But I'm going to go ahead and get this can cracked open here. I'm going to drink a little bit of it down, and then I should be able to get the rest in the cup. See if that worked. Yeah, that should work. It all went in there. Good. See if this can is any good. Ice cold. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. I nearly forgot to buy my Mega Million, my Powerball ticket. I nearly forgot to buy my Powerball ticket for tonight's drawing, but I was getting back in my car at that Circle K by my camper and about to pull off, and then I realized I hadn't bought my Powerball ticket. I topped off my tank, and I bought more of the Arizona watermelon drinks that I drink in the evening. I drink one of those cans every evening, and I realized I hadn't bought my Powerball ticket. So here it is. I bought this at 4 o'clock on the button yesterday evening, and I played my normal numbers of 14, 22, 25, 37, 49, and the Powerball 23. So I'm all set for tonight's drawing, and according to this ticket, the jackpot is at 46 million for tonight's drawing of the Powerball. And here is my Mega Million ticket for tomorrow night's Mega Million prize of over 533 million. I've got a chance to win that in Tuesday night's drawing of the Mega. I bought this one on the 7th of March at 2:52 p.m. I checked out gas prices and on AAA and Gas Buddy this morning to find out about national average price of gas and the average price of gas in the state of Florida. And gas has gone back up at this Circle K to the price it was, Saturday morning. Saturday morning it was $3.49. Yesterday, Sunday morning, it went down 10 cents to $3.39. Well, it's back up to $3.49, just like it was Saturday morning, this Monday morning. And according to AAA and Gas Buddy, the average price of gas in the state of Florida has went up another 3 cents to $3.47. It was $3.39 Saturday morning. It went up 5 cents to $3.44. Now it's up another 3 cents to $3.47 this morning. And the average price of gas in the United States is unchanged from yesterday. It's still $3.45. So this Circle K is higher than the state average, Florida state average, by 2 cents, and it's higher than the national price of gas by 4 cents. I also wrote down what that website weather-atlas.com had to say about the weather today in Tampa, and this is what they wrote. It said Tampa will start off misty Monday morning. It'll be the weather will be misty to start the day, but the afternoon will be sunny and bright and much warmer than over the weekend. High of 88 and a low of 66 overnight going into Tuesday morning. And I also asked Meta AI what weather I can expect here in Tampa, and its response was quite brief compared to other responses it's given me about the weather. This is all it's had to say about the weather in Tampa today. It said Tampa's weather is looking sunny with a high of 90 degrees and a low of 70 degrees. You can expect plenty of sunshine. It never mentioned anything about the wind, how clear the sky will be in relationship to the sun. It just said plenty of sunshine. No mention of rain. Didn't say what percent chance of rain we're going to have, what winds will be out of the east, west, or south, or whatever. That's all it said about the weather today. And then I went on to the two YouTube sources I used for the weather, and meteorologist James Gregorio was on the 10 Tampa Bay News YouTube. This was uploaded yesterday, March 8th. He said near record warm continues through midweek in Tampa Bay before the late week cold front passes through at the end of the week, which will bring slightly cooler temperatures and the possibility of storms and rain and some rain. Humidity will continue to move upward through Thursday until that cold front hits Tampa Bay, which will bring a 40% chance of rain Thursday. He went on to say that we're going to see a high of 85 and a low of 67, which is considerably cooler than what weather-atlas.com said the weather will be, and cooler than what Meta AI said. He said mostly sunny skies on Monday, James Gregorio said. And then meteorologist Valerie Mills was on Fox 13 Tampa Bay. She says the coastline recently received more rain than she had predicted and what weather models predicted the coastline of Tampa Bay would receive after this recent cold front that passed through. More downpours are expected in far east Tampa Bay later in the week. And she didn't reference the cold front. She just said far east Tampa Bay will receive a considerable amount of rain later in the week. As for Tuesday and Wednesday, we're expecting record high temperatures, especially in the eastern part of Tampa Bay. But today, expect mostly sunny skies and dry conditions, a high of 86 and a low of 68, which is very similar to what James Gregorio said the highs and lows will be for Tampa today. I also wrote down my metrics for Uber Eats, and good numbers came in after completing Sunday's business, Sunday the 8th of March. I had one of those canceled, dropped off. Saturday I was at 4% canceled orders. I had one drop off after completing Saturday's business. And then Sunday, after completing Sunday's business, another one dropped off. So I'm down to 2% canceled orders, which is good. My on-time percentage increased a good bit yesterday. Going into Sunday's delivery day, I was at an on-time percent of 93, but yesterday I arrived at stores, customers' homes, and restaurants on time 96% of the time, which is a fantastic percentage to maintain. Anything in the 90s is a great percentage to maintain, and I've been doing that consistently for a long period of time now. My acceptance percent went up 1% to 93%. I accepted 93% of the offers that came through the app yesterday, Sunday. And my customer satisfaction percent is still at 99%. I'm keeping 99% of my customers happy. So all great numbers. And it looks like I got 13 upvotes yesterday in those 5 metrics that measure my performance and how well I'm treating my customers. My deliver with care went up by 4. I now have 690 people responded that I delivered food to their door with great care. My friendly score went up 3. I now have 608 people said I delivered food to their door with a friendly demeanor. My quick and efficient score went up 2 to 596. I had 2 more people said I used good communication skills. I'm now at 593. And perfect handoff is still an area of opportunity of mine. I had 2 more people said I delivered food to the door with a perfect handoff. That's a total of 568. I had 11 trips with 19 customers, so I had at least 1 triple that I know of. I know 10 was a triple for Tom, Brandon, and Trevor, but then a few doubles thrown in there and only a couple singles. But I started out the day, Sunday, picking up a single for Devin. Devin wanted breakfast from Wendy's on 56th Street. Devin's fare was $2.98 and he tipped me $3, so made $5.98 for picking up Devin's breakfast from the Wendy's on 56th. Then I went on to pick up another breakfast order. Trip number 2 was another breakfast run for Cody. Cody wanted breakfast from the Burger King on 50th Street, North 50th Street. Cody's fare was $2.55 and he tipped me $3, just like Devin did. So I made $5.55 for picking up Burger King for Cody yesterday morning. After dropping off Cody's Burger King order, I went on another single for Joan. Joan wanted IHOP from the Morris Bridge Road location. Joan tipped me $6.73 for picking up her breakfast from IHOP. And I got a fare of $2.13. So thank you so much for the generous, kind tips, Joan, Cody, and Devin. I appreciate all 3 of you for that. And I appreciate the business. I earned fares for those orders too. So thank you so much for that too, Joan, Cody, and Devin. I appreciate the 3 of you. You were very kind and generous and thoughtful. After dropping off Joan's breakfast from the IHOP, I went on a double for Anthony and Zim. Anthony and Zim, they tipped me $5.03 and I earned a fare of $7.08. So I made $12.11 for picking up their food from Kiki Breakfast Cafe on Bruce B. Downs for Anthony. And Zim wanted Pastelito Papichis. That's a food truck on County Line Road. Zim and Anthony tipped me $5. Thank you so much for that tip, Zim and Anthony. I appreciate the both of you. Then I went on a double. This is where I earned that extra tip from Anthony. Anthony and Zim. Anthony wanted Kiki breakfast. No, I'm screwing it up. Caroline. This is trip number 5. Caroline wanted Tropical Smoothie Cafe on East Fowler. And Lonnie wanted IHOP on Morris Bridge. I went right back to the IHOP, just like for Joan. Lonnie and Caroline were scheduled to tip me $10.77 with a fare of $4.72, so I was supposed to make $14.77 on that order. But after dropping off the order, I was supposed to make $10.77. I'm screwing this up. The fare was $6.05 and I was supposed to get a tip of $4.72, making it a total of $10.77, but I'm assuming Caroline gave me an extra $4, so I actually made $14.77 on this double, this Tropical Smoothie and IHOP double. Thank you, Caroline and Lonnie, for the generous tip. I appreciate the both of you. Oh, I just realized I actually made, Lonnie gave me an extra $5 tip, cash. So both of them actually gave me extra money, coincidentally, on that order. So I actually made $19.77. I'm glad I wrote that down, or I would have completely neglected to thank Lonnie for the extra $5 tip. So 2 people actually tipped me more on that order. Thank you so much, Lonnie, for the extra tip also. I appreciate you. So 1977, that might have been my best paying delivery of the day. No, I had a 2164 later in the day, but that was a great paying run nonetheless. It was just a double. I made almost $20 on. So thank you so much for that. Those tips, Lonnie and Caroline. I appreciate the both of you. Then I went on a triple. Trip number 6 was a triple for Kennedy and Benson and Cody. Kennedy and Benson wanted an order picked up from Campfire Cafe on Martin Luther King, and then Cody wanted Protein House on North Meridian. Cody, Kennedy, and Benson, I earned a fare of $9.58, and they tipped me $7.11, so I made $16.69 for picking up that triple for Cody, Kennedy, and Benson. Thank you for that generous tip of $7.11. I appreciate the 3 of you. Then I went on a double. Number 7 was, actually this was another triple. Tanya and Henry wanted the burger spot on Tampa Street, and Mo had a courier saver to be picked up. So Mo, Henry, and Tanya earned a fare of $8.88, and then Tanya and Henry tipped me $9.10, so I made $17.98 for that. So thank you, Tanya and Henry, for the tip fare, and thank you, Mo, for the fare I earned for picking up your courier saver. I appreciate the 3 of you so much. I need all the fares and tips I can earn to pay my rent, car insurance, to save some money, and to be able to afford my next car I need to buy next year. So thank you so much for the business and the tips. I appreciate the 3 of you. Then I went on a double trip. Trip number 8 was a double for Della and Joy. Della wanted Popeye's chicken picked up from Tampa Gateway, and Joy had a Wawa order to be picked up off of Martin Luther King. Joy and Della, I earned a fare of $3.66, and they tipped me $6.50, so I made $10.16 for picking up the Wawa and Popeye's order for Joy and Della. I appreciate the both of you. Thank you so much for the $6.50 tip, Joy and Della. I appreciate that. And then I was supposed to be picking up a Taco Bell order for Justin, but I get there, I'm not exactly sure what happened, but there was no order there to be picked up, and they weren't communicating very well with me there. The manager wasn't communicating with me, and none of the workers were. I get there initially, and I waited a long time just for anyone to acknowledge me, but finally someone acknowledged that I was there. It was a manager, and she said, "We don't have that order," and that's all she would say to me. "We don't have that order." So I'm assuming initially that it got stolen by another delivery driver, but then another guy, I text the customer to let him know there was no order there to be picked up, and they never responded back to me. And I didn't, and at that point I had a couple canceled orders drop off I had at least one canceled order drop off my record, so I didn't want to incur another canceled order, so I was trying to figure out what to do. I text support to see if they would cancel it on their end, and when that happens, you don't have it, the driver doesn't get it counted against them. So the support agent from Uber Eats tried to get me to get the Taco Bell to remake the order off of what I had showed the customer had ordered, and they refused to do that. So I got back with support and said they're not going to do that. They're refusing to do that. So I managed to get them to cancel it on their end, and it didn't count against me. Well, in the meantime, between getting all that figured out, I talked to another associate there, and it seemed from the conversation I had with that associate, they never received the order. It never actually went to their store, so that's why it wasn't there. So that's what I think really happened. There was a glitch in the Uber Eats system, and the order never made it there in the first place. So in any event, it shouldn't have counted against me. Unfortunately, it didn't. But because I communicated all this to support, I got a credit. Uber Eats gave me a $4 credit, so I didn't waste my time there. It was more or less like I did a delivery, but I didn't burn any gas. So I'm happy with the Taco Bell experience all around. I would have rather delivered food to my customer and possibly earned a little bit more, but it wasn't entirely a waste of time because I got $4 out of the deal. So after getting that closed out and off my phone, I went on to pick up trip number 9 for Josh. This was a single. Josh wanted Hong Kong Chinese restaurant off of Martin Luther King. Josh was generous and tipped me $5.71, and I earned a fare of $3.93. So altogether, I made $9.64 for picking up Josh's Hong Kong Chinese restaurant. Thank you, Josh, for the generous nearly $6 tip. I appreciate that. And then here goes the best paying delivery of the day. It was a triple for Tom, Zeke, and Trevor. Trevor wanted Moe's Southwest Grill on Brandon. Brandon wanted Chili's Bar and Grill. No, it was for Zeke, Trevor, and Tom. Zeke wanted Chili Bar and Grill off of Brandon, and then Tom wanted Kanji Sushi and Ramen off of Providence Road. Tom, Zeke, and Trevor, they tipped me $8.66, and I earned a fare of $12.98, so I made $21.64 on that relatively easy double to do. Thank you so much, Zeke, Trevor, and Tom, for that generous $8.66, and thank you for the nearly $13 fare I earned. I appreciate the three of you very much. And then I ended the day picking up an order for Kim. Kim wanted Chipotle Mexican Grill off of Cumberland Avenue. Kim's fare was $2 and she tipped me $4, so I made $6 for picking up Kim's Chipotle Mexican Grill off of Cumberland. Thank you for the $4 tip, Kim. I really appreciate that. Well, I'm gonna wrap this up and get into McDonald's here in a little bit and enjoy another 2 sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffins and my coffee. I managed to get another survey, complete another survey, and I've got another code. So I'm going to be getting another buy one, get one free breakfast sandwich from the McDonald's this morning. God bless you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great week.